COVID-19 is making a comeback in Taiwan. After 250 days of no local transmissions, there's about a dozen new domestic cases.
And most of them are connected to a hospital cluster infection. We'll tell you all about that in today's show. I'm Natalie Tso.
And I'm Andrew Ryan. Let's check out the stories on our radar.
Taiwan's envoy to the U.S., Xiaobi Kim, has attended the inauguration of U.S. President Joe Biden. She is the first Taiwanese representative to receive a formal invitation to a U.S. inauguration since the two countries cut ties in 1979. Here's what she had to say.
I'm honored to be here today on behalf of the people and government of Taiwan at the inauguration of United States President Biden and Vice President Harris. Democracy is our common language and freedom is our common objective. I look forward to working with the next administration in advancing our mutual values and interests.
A cluster of domestic COVID-19 cases at a Taiwanese hospital has led to the cancellation of several large-scale events. That's on the orders of Health Minister Chen Shizhong. The Lantern Festival, Lunar New Year Dihua Street Market, and a Taoist festival in Taidong have been cancelled for the first time in 3 decades. And the Taipei International Book Festival has been moved online. And under the radar this week, there's a goose on the loose, and a rare one at that. The bar-headed goose is found in places like the Himalayas, and until this week, it had never been sighted in Taiwan before. Now several of the geese have appeared in Yilan County, attracting excited birdwatchers.
This Saturday marks the 1-year anniversary of the lockdown in Wuhan, China. Andrew, do you remember what you were doing at the time?
Yeah, I remember it was Lunar New Year, right?
Right.
So I was actually on holidays in southern Taiwan, and when we heard about it, it was like, wow, that's really extreme.
Actually, I was doing the news at that time, and I was writing the news story. I'm like, wow, they're taking this really seriously.
Yeah, and I actually remember when I came back to Taipei, people were required to wear face masks already on the train, and you couldn't buy face masks anywhere in Taiwan.
And the school vacation was extended, so
that's right.
We did a lot in the beginning. I'm glad that we did.
Yeah, so what has this past year looked like for the pandemic here in Taiwan? Well, the total number of cases has been less than 900, and the deaths have been to the single digits. Have a look at this chart. The worst week was in mid-March last year. That's the week when Taiwan closed its borders. There were 123 imported cases and 10 local cases that week.
Then we had a long period of no local transmissions between mid-April and late December when an airplane pilot infected his female companion.
And that brings us all the way up until this month. So here's what you need to know about the cluster infection at the hospital in northern Taiwan. This is Taoyuan General Hospital, located about an hour outside of Taipei, near Taiwan's largest international airport. Many workers, as you can see, are in full PPE.
It looks pretty empty because they've closed down some of the wards and are no longer admitting new patients or allowing visitors. So how did the cluster infection begin? It all began with patient 812. A Taiwanese man in his 60s who returned to Taiwan from the U.S. in late December. He was diagnosed with COVID-19 on January 3rd.
On January 12th, a doctor at the same hospital was confirmed to have COVID-19. It's thought that he got it while intubating that patient. On the same day, a nurse who lives with the doctor was also confirmed.
Now, the doctor is also thought to have infected another nurse and doctor at the hospital, who then infected a Vietnamese caregiver and 2 more medical workers.
So far, 3 family members of medical workers have been infected. So what's going to happen following this outbreak? Well, on Thursday, Health Minister Chen Shizhong said that there would not be a lockdown. However, he is calling for the cancellation of all large-scale public events.
And many of them have to do with the Chinese Lunar New Year, such as the popular Dihua Market and also the Lantern Festival, which is canceled for the first time. Let's take a look.
A dazzling array of lights on slender stalks of bamboo. The main display at Taiwan's 2021 Lantern Festival is quite a sight, but would-be visitors will have to wait. Authorities have cancelled February's event after Taiwan saw 4 new domestic cases on Tuesday. Transport Minister Lin Jialong is reassuring artists their hard work won't be for nothing. He says there will be future opportunities to display their craft work, but the event in Hsinchu cannot take place as planned. Meanwhile, restaurants and hotels hoping to profit from the flood of visitors have been left to count the cost. Hotel PR manager Rose says they're already feeling the effect. She says as soon as the event was cancelled, customers began calling to cancel reservations. But on the bright side, without traffic controls in place, hotels near the festival grounds are seeing a bump in reservations for the Lunar New Year.
All eyes have been on the U.S. inauguration this week, and we're really happy to see that Taiwan's representative to the U.S., Xiaobi Kim, got an official invitation.
Yeah, that's right. This is the first time that that's happened. In the past, envoys from Taiwan have gone on the invite of, I think, U.S. Congresspeople.
That's right, that's right.
Yeah.
And also we're happy to see that Secretary of State Antony Blinken at a Senate hearing this week had a lot of positive things to say about U.S.-Taiwan ties.
We're going to show you a clip now of him answering questions from Republican Senator Lindsey Graham.
When it comes to Taiwan, it's been the policy of the United States to basically, for lack of a better term, to guarantee Taiwanese democracy. What's your view of that?
My view is we have an abiding and longstanding and bipartisan commitment to Taiwan and to the Taiwan Relations Act. We need to make sure that they have the means to deter aggression, to defend themselves. I'd like to see Taiwan even more engaged in the world. It's in many ways a model democracy, a strong economy, and a technological powerhouse. And of course, the way they've dealt with COVID-19 has a lot of lessons to teach us.
But if the Chinese Communist Party decided to use military force against the population in Taiwan, that would create great upheaval throughout the world, and they would pay a heavy price. Is that fair to say?
That would be a grievous mistake on their part.
Now, in our show, we've actually talked a lot about how people in Taiwan, some people are very nervous about a Biden administration because they perceive Trump as being very anti-China and therefore pro-Taiwan. But after seeing Secretary of State Blinken responding to those comments, I think that maybe that'll put people's worries to rest.
Also, last week when I spoke with former AIT Director William Stanton, he gave some reasons why he thinks U.S.-Taiwan ties will continue in a positive direction.
If you look carefully at what Biden said in the past and what he said more recently, he's gotten a lot of criticism because he downplayed the threat from China when he said, oh, those guys, they're nothing for us to worry about early on when he was running as a candidate. But subsequently, he's referred to Xi Jinping as a thug. He's called attention to the human rights situation in Hong Kong. So I think we're going to move and continue to move in a positive direction with Taiwan. And, under Xi Jinping, China continues to make moves that appeal to no one in America. You have to remember that 73% of the American people now, according to the summer Pew survey this past summer, have an unfavorable view of the PRC. That's the highest it's ever been in history. And even a higher percentage of American people, 77%, have an unfavorable view. They don't trust Xi Jinping to do the right thing in foreign affairs. So then you also have a Congress, which more than any time in my 34 years as a U.S. diplomat, and since then, we have a Congress which is totally unified in support of Taiwan. Even during the Trump period, there were 6 important pieces of legislation, mostly rhetorically encouraging the government to do things, but they were all very supportive of Taiwan. So I think there's a willingness, and I think there's strong support for a continuing improvement in U.S.-Taiwan relations.
Now, if you'd like to see the entire interview with William Stanton, you can check that out on Facebook and YouTube. Up next, Hashtag Taiwan.
This is Hamzi. She's a South Korean mukbanger. That just means she's a YouTuber who eats on camera for a living. I know, some people have all the luck. But you might not envy Hamzi so much after today's story, because she's at the heart of a spat between Korean and Chinese netizens. What are the two groups fighting about? Vegetables. Well, more specifically, fermented vegetables. On January 15th, Hamzi uploaded a video of herself eating what she called white kimchi. Kimchi, of course, is Korea's national dish, which is spicy pickled vegetables. Chinese netizens didn't like the designation white kimchi because to them it looked like Hamzi was eating Chinese fermented cabbage. They thought that by labeling the food white kimchi, Hamzi was asserting that fermented cabbage is South Korean. At this point, Hamzi laid low until the outrage died out, is what I would say if that's what happened. Instead, online users from China and South Korea got into it in the comments section. Some keen-eyed users pointed out that Hamzi placed hearts on anti-Chinese comments. By placing hearts on the message, Hamzi not only confirms that she saw the message, but she also approves of it as well. Hamzi issued an apology on the Chinese social media site Weibo, even bowing as a show of sincerity. Oh, Hamzi, don't you know that when you side with one group, you alienate the other? South Korean users on YouTube went, "What?" Hamzi then went back to YouTube to do damage control, saying that her Chinese management agency is the one that told her to apologize. In the end, the company that represents Hamzi in China dropped her. Talk about a classic case of trying to have your kimchi and eat it too. In Taiwan, people commented on how overly sensitive Chinese netizens were. Huang Zixuan says, I have never seen Chinese netizens accept any apology from a celebrity. Celebrities might as well take a hard stance from the start. That'd make for a better show. I'm Talking Turkey said, the worst part is she couldn't win over either side. One said she betrayed Korea, the other said her apology was insincere. It's definitely a lose-lose situation for Hamzi for sure. This whole ordeal had Zi Yin Lai questioning his understanding of the world when he asked, so wait, kimchi isn't Korean? To which Crystal Lin reminded him, anything called kimchi is Korean. Here's a cheeky meme posted in response to the story. It says, optimists will say the glass is half full. Pessimists will say it's half empty. Chinese netizens will say it's an insult to China. I think you can't deny that anything called kimchi is Korean. But if you call it pao cai, which is what we call it here in Taiwan, then I agree with Fin Lu who says pao cai is from Taiwan. It goes great with a plate of fried stinky tofu fresh out the fryer, and don't you forget it.
Today's Brain Game is an inauguration quiz. It's going to be a contest between Leslie and Andrew.
Oh, no.
About the Taiwan and U.S. inaugurations that were streamlined because of COVID. Now, first of all, I want you guys to pick a card, any card.
Which
Only
one do you
two
want?
cards.
One of the closest.
Okay, and lift it and show the audience.
Oh.
What do you got?
Yeah, Taiwan.
And you
USA.
got U.S. So you're answering all the Taiwan questions and you're answering all the U.S. questions. And see who gets the most right.
Okay.
And you have 90 seconds.
Okay.
All right, ready? Go. Biden was sworn in with his hand on what special item?
A Bible.
Yeah, what kind of Bible?
A new.
A 19th century family heirloom Bible.
Oh, come on. That counts.
It counts. Tsai was sworn in facing what two things?
A portrait of Sun Yat-sen.
Uh-huh.
And the Constitution?
The flag.
The flag.
So I'll give you half of that. Okay. How many people were at the Capitol stage to witness Biden and Harris's inauguration?
Oh, geez. 500?
Nope.
Ooh.
600.
No. 200. And how many guests were at the Taipei guest house to hear Tsai's inaugural speech?
200.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh, come on. That's the same answer. That's not fair.
Thank you, sir.
In the United States, the National Mall was closed. What was put there to represent the people?
Flags.
That's right, 200,000 American flags.
Wow.
Flags.
Taiwan had a lot of commemorative inauguration souvenirs. What was in the gift box given to guests at President Tsai's commemoration?
Special mask. Face
Nope.
mask.
Nope, similar. Keep
A
going.
pillow?
No.
Alcohol? Spray
Pandemic,
wipes?
yeah, pandemic
wipes?
stuff like commemorative soap, hand sanitizer. Okay. In lieu of the congressional luncheon and the inaugural parade and balls, what was the main source of entertainment in the U.S.?
There were singers that sang and fireworks.
And there's something else.
Tom Hanks.
Right, Tom Hanks
Tom Hanks.
hosted
A live web show.
a TV special called Celebrating America. Okay, and in lieu of the inaugural banquet and parade, what was the main source of entertainment in Taiwan?
It was a streamed concert?
That's right. Online concert
wow.
called Keep Zero, Be Hero.
Zero.
Okay.
That is my nickname, by the way.
Okay, we're running out of time, but I'll ask you two more questions.
All right.
So in his speech, Biden said America needs something to overcome its challenges. What was that one word?
Needs something to
One
overcome.
one word.
I know it's not vaccines, but that would also work. Needs unity.
That's right!
Really?
Good for you! You should be giving a
Paying
speech.
attention.
Okay, in her inaugural speech, what did Tsai call each person in Taiwan?
A hero?
That's right.
Oh, wow.
Good
Wow.
job. So let's see, who won here?
I think it was a tie.
Yeah, I think it was a
That was
tie.
pretty tied.
Very good, you guys. So that was the inauguration quiz, inauguration contest. Great job, and thanks for joining our break game.
And our final question of the day. Who would you invite to perform at your inauguration? Natalie, let's say you're inaugurated.
All right.
Who you
Well,
gonna invite?
I would invite Cloud-Kid. I think their dances are beautiful. They transcend all cultures. Wherever I'm being inaugurated, I'm sure people would love it.
That's an amazing choice.
That's a great one.
Out of the box.
Yeah.
Leslie.
Let me preface this really quickly. Never in the history of us asking this question have I had so much trouble finding an answer. In my mind, there was a whole vetting process, and then I held auditions, and then I was like
Your committee
going
was
through who was
not even here today. Yeah.
But I ended with the Chinese rocker,
cool.
Taiwanese rocker, Wu Bai, because he is huge everywhere. He's super Taiwanese, and I don't think he's ever had an inaugural concert or anything.
That's an amazing choice.
Yeah, it came down to
that's
him
great.
and Ame, and then I was like, Ame already did it for President Sen Sui-bian, so I'm like, let's give Uba his chance.
Well, now I feel bad. You guys both chose Taiwanese acts. I did not. I would normally say indigenous singers, right? But I was trying to think of something, less than usual. I want Aretha Franklin.
Yeah, she can belt it out,
Give me
man.
the respect, man. R-E-S-P-E-C-T.
That's a great one.
Sounds good.
All right, so if any of us get inaugurated, you may see those performers, or a hologram of those performers on stage. So thank you so much for joining us for Taiwan Insider this week. Be sure to connect with us on social media.
Yes, leave a comment below and subscribe if you like our show. For Taiwan Insider, I am Natalie Tso.
I'm Leslie Liao.
And I'm Andrew Ryan. See you next week.